it's just been this big finding for us that, wow, as we think about culture transformation, as we think about behavioral change, as we think about how do we generate a culture of innovation, how do we become more inclusive, that sort of the single most effective lever to achieve most of this thing is to work directly with managers and have them lead and facilitate and enable that change in their respective teams, because culture is where we are at home in our teams. We'll talk about the company culture, but it's typically what I experience in my team that really determines the culture that I experience. And so that has been one finding that we've really, pushed hard at organizations to say, if you want to drive change, stop driving it from the top. I love telling CEOs, it's not just about you. We need the organization to be on board. And on the topic of hybrid and remote work, what we've seen is some of our organizations some of our partners have really adopted that mentality to say, actually, we don't need a company policy on hybrid. We don't need a company policy on remote. What we need is for every team to know what they need, every team to determine how best they achieve their outcomes. Because what we see in the organizations that we've supported this on is that in any industry we've come in, you have certain teams that are totally okay to see each other once a month. It actually, the nature of work that they do, the nature of interdependencies, the types of people on that team, that actually works for them. And then we've seen other teams where, twice a week is not enough. They should see each other much more because of the nature of the work, because of the interdependencies that they experience at work. So what we've done instead is to say, how do we equip and empower managers to be the ones that actually determine this together with their team? So when do we want to be together? When do we think we need to be together? When do we need that face time? How do we make sure that, some organizations are saying come twice a week? Well, that doesn't work when, all team members come on 2 different days. Then you get none of the benefits of having people come in. So that doesn't serve a purpose. So instead, what I'm seeing work, and I'm very excited about, is really putting the power in the hands of the manager and the team, and have that sort of group dynamically determine what do we need to perform at our best? What do we need for our individual and collective well-being? What do we need for our individual and collective engagement? And what do we need for our individual and collective performance? And it's a little more complicated, right? Because now you're sort of distributing the power, and you will see cases of managers doing a really terrible job and forcing people, which is not what we're looking for. But I think that's a risk we have to take and put the power in the hands of the managers. Obviously, they need to be helped to do this right.